Hey everyone, welcome back to Ask the Pastor. This week we're talking about in vitro fertilization. Let's go see what the question is. All right, so this is an anonymous person asking, do children who were born by means of in vitro fertilization have a soul?
Okay, well, I know that's an issue today in terms of how a baby's born, but it really doesn't affect, it's not how a person's born, it's who is born. In other words, if an animal is born by in vitro fertilization, it's still an animal. If a human being is born by in vitro fertilization, it's a human being. And the issue is, does human beings have a soul? That's the real issue. So anonymous, let me talk to you about that. The answer comes in Genesis, as many of the answers come from. Take a look at what it says about, it says, this is in Genesis 2, verse 7. The Lord God formed the man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. That is, he became immortal. He became a living soul. He had a spirit. And whether a baby is born the normal way or born in a test tube or whatever other mechanisms mankind may invent, that person, once the ovum and the sperm connects, becomes a human being. That human being has a soul, is immortal. And if they die in the womb, they will be in heaven. If they, my wife had a miscarriage when we were, I think it was our second child, she had a miscarriage. I won't be surprised that when I get to heaven, there will be a person that I haven't met, that I'm their dad, and it'll be quite an experience for both my wife and I. Now, I think what we have to understand too, when you realize that we're human beings, that if a baby is murdered in the womb, that's murder. We call it abortion. It's murder. It's an evil that is very, very deep. And our whole culture has been affected by it. If we kill somebody because they're an invalid, that's murder. If somebody gets old and somewhat incapacitated, and we suggest, well, they're just taking up space, and we allow them to be killed, that's murder. Murder has nothing to do with whether one thinks a particular way or can do a particular thing. It's if that person is a human being or not. They're sacred before God. And the Bible makes it very clear that if you shed the blood of another who is innocent, your blood should be shed. You are that sacred to God. We have lost that concept today. And today we have euthanasia, where people can choose to die by medical practices. And you know what happened during World War II in Germany? Literally, Hitler simply said this. He said Jews were non-persons. He used his own phraseology, useless eaters. There were non-persons. And 6 million of them were killed. You say that couldn't happen today. It's already happening. We've murdered millions and millions of unborn babies because we labeled them non-persons. We even gave them new names, like, we don't call them babies anymore. We call them everything else but what they are. And we've murdered millions of elderly because they don't fit our lifestyle. And we use stupid phrases like, well, it would be better if they were dead because they're not living a lifestyle of a certain magnitude. And we glorify the evil. Friend, listen, the Bible makes it clear. You're sacred. And life is sacred. Human life is sacred. And I pray that somehow in this nation, we will get to the place where we reject the philosophy of death that has taken over our nation. It has literally affected our whole nation and what we do. In fact, one day we will have to stand before God as a nation to give an account for the evil that has happened here. I pray for a mighty revival to shift things here. And I hope that you're praying for that too. Well, I think I said enough.
Amen. Thank you so much for joining us for Ask the Pastor. If you have any questions that you would like Dr. Marocco to answer, please leave them in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe and click that bell icon so you get notified every time we have a new video. God bless you.